When you talk about the NECC, a lot of excitement about the small division. Obviously, Eastside had a tremendous run the last couple of seasons. Laban Davis graduates, that big senior class graduates. The cupboard isn't bare, but when you look at the small division, Churubusco's got some nice parts coming back in the quarterback, Riley Burhoff, Wyatt Marks, some other guys as well. How do you see this playing? And Central Noble is really on the way up, too. Hayden Kilgore's finally getting to get some momentum with the Cougars.
I still like Eastside atop that league at this point. And you look at who gets the snaps at quarterback. Is it Carson Jacobs? Is it Wyatt Davis? Is it a combination of both of them? And the other one, when they're not playing quarterbacks, playing a wide receiver. You still have Dax Holman, who's a tremendous football player, coming back. You still have some big guys up front when you look at Dane Siebert and Joey Eck. So in terms of complete football teams, I still like Eastside in that division. I still think that Churubusco can be that threat. We saw them play Eastside really tough in the regular season last year at Churubusco. So wouldn't put anything by the Eagles. I like Central Noble. I just don't know if they're there yet with the other two in that league.
Bringing back a quarterback at Central Noble that's got some experience, that they have some talent. But, yeah, I think Eastside, again, and Eastside probably has a little bit, these guys probably have a little chip on their shoulder because they realize that some people are doubting them, that they can't, make it without Laban Davis in this group. So I imagine there's a little extra motivation for Todd Mason and company.
Well, this is the year that Todd Mason can point to and say, this is where we're going to prove that we're a perennial team to deal with.
We're a program.
Right. The last 3 years have been tremendous for Eastside. 2019, we're sitting here talking about a team that hadn't won a single postseason trophy of any kind. You know what I mean? And over the course of 3 years, wins 2 sectionals, wins a regional, beats Bishop Luers twice in the past 3 years in the playoffs. Now that we look at it and say, okay, what can you do without Laban Davis, without those couple classes that really propelled you? That's what Todd Mason and this group want to go out and prove is, hey, like you said, we're a program. We're not going anywhere. We're going to be a perennial team to deal with in lower classes.
NECC, big division. Fairfield won it last year. I think we're waiting for Angola to bounce back.
Sure.
Garrett has some pieces, including the starting quarterback and Aiden Lytle back. You figure, again, talent is cyclical. Chris Depew knows what he's doing.
Right. Well, he would probably question that.
He probably would be the first one to question that.
He probably would.
But when you look at it, is this Carson Kitson returns for Fairfield at the quarterback position? Is that the team to beat, I would imagine, Matt Thacker and the Fairfield Falcons?
It all depends on how well they run that offense and how well the
it's hard to prepare
defeat
for
it, right, with the triple option. So you have to think, as you mentioned with Angola, they have to bounce back at some point. And I feel like those younger classes that, they've been talking about Angola and say, 7th grade, 8th grade, they're starting to get into the high school level. So you feel like they're going to start, merging back with the pack in terms of everybody else. It was almost a league that nobody wanted to win last year. It was under 500 that almost won it. So when you look at Angola and you say, okay, 2 wins is not where Angola wants to be, or should they be? So I think when you look at challengers to Fairfield, you look at Angola. I wouldn't count out Garrett, but you have to think, with the facilities that Angola has and the amount of players they have in that program, you have to think that they're going to bounce back.
All right. Anything else that you'd like to add as we enter week 1? Because we'll be talking about scrimmages next week, which who knows what you can really take away from scrimmages.
Yeah, right.
But we'll also be talking about what is going to be a wild week 1, specifically in the SAC next week.
Yeah, you look at the matchups, and everybody's so excited about that Snyder Northside matchup. I think, the Carroll Luers matchup will be good because we can see where both teams are. When you look at Bishop Luers and you say, okay, inexperienced at quarterback, a lot of youth at offensive line, and they're going to face arguably the best defense in the area in Carroll. So we can figure that out. And then I think Wayne and Bishop DeWenger is one to watch as well. I think so many people have piled on Bishop DeWenger as being down, and they got a chance to beat an upstart that a lot of people think could be a spoiler in the SAC. So I think there's a lot of intrigue with that one as well.
All right, man. We will break it all down next week on Inside the Zone. But for Justin, I'm Glenn, and we'll see you next Monday.